So today we're going to be talking about how you can get the Windjammer score to an insanely high value. First we will find it, and then we will find a way to auto-find it every time we load up Windjammer. So let's go ahead and make sure we have Cheat Engine open and we're loaded into Pirate101 inside the Windjammer. Just before the play screen, we're going to inject Cheat Engine to Pirate101. Then we're going to go ahead and click play. So get the score to like a different value than 0, because there's a ton of zeros in the game right now. Okay, but if we get it to like a weird number, then it'll be easier to search it. So let's say 335. Okay, 380. Pause the game right there. With all the default values, 4 bytes, exact value writable, a fast scan. I'm gonna search it. Okay, so that's 300 values. Let's go ahead and just grab all of them, even though it is quite a bit. Okay, and let's select about half of these. So we're going to hold shift and click about halfway. Change the values to something insane so that we will notice on screen. Okay, so we see one of these values changed it. That means everything else that we did not select is a no. So out of these, we're going to label them. We're going to hit Control Enter, and we're going to label all of these as maybes. Okay, because maybe one of these is it. Back up. Select half of these maybes. Change it back down to a lower number. Okay, so the number is changing going back down. We're going to say getting closer. Okay, and out of these getting closers, select the first one, go about halfway. Change the number to a big number again, like 10,000. So the number is going up again. That means it's one of these, so we can say getting closerer. Okay, and out of the closerers, we will select about half of them. And then change it to a small number. Nothing. Yeah, the number's not going down, so we'll say nope for all of these. Let's select half of the next half of the get closerers. Change it to a smaller number. Nope, number's still going up, so these are nopes as well. Then we'll do the next half. We'll change those to a smaller number. And one of these is probably the correct value because it's going down. Possible correct. Okay, out of these, we'll choose half. Change the value to a bigger number. Yep, one of these just made it go up, so one of these we'll say. Let's test the first one. Change it to a small number. Nope, that's not changing it. Let's change the other one to a smaller number, most likely. Yeah, that one's it. Okay. So let's go ahead and label it as this is it, in all caps. This is it. We found the Windjammer score now. Now, whatever we change it to, let's say you want to put 10,000 or 100,000, it's going to keep running up to that number. Okay. Now, to always have this, we can right-click the address, click find out what accesses this address, click yes, and click on, let's say, the first one, show disassembler. And if you wanted to, you can right-click this and add to code list, click OK, and then just change it to something. The name of this, we'll say Windjammer score is here. And then we can go back to the cheat engine and advanced options down here. We're going to click, and then it will pop up that piece of code. So every single time I want to find the Windjammer score, I can always just click over here, double click it, and it will take me to that piece of code the Windjammer score was on. I can right click that and click find out what addresses this instruction accesses. And there it shows me the Windjammer score there every time. Now there's an easier step we can do, especially if you want it like easily accessible inside the cheat table itself, so that it auto finds that value, sort of like how I've made my other cheats for Pirate101. So let's go back to the this is it. We're going to right click it, pointer scan for this address, and most of these default settings you see here are okay. And then name it something like Windjammer score.ptr, and then hit save. Just make sure it's saved somewhere like a pointer scan file, because it may output a lot in that folder, and you don't want to mix it up with a bunch of your other important folders. So yes. We wait for it to finish. It may take several minutes, but it should be quick for Pirate101. Okay, so it outputs 342,000 paths. We don't want that. Normally what you do is you'd restart, at this point you'd restart Pirate101, so you'd close it. And then let me actually show you right now. So close Pirate101. Don't need that. Restart Pirate101. Go to the Windjammer. And with the same list that we have right here, we're going to just hit play on the Windjammer. And so let's just pause it right there. Let's go back to the advanced options, and remember that piece of code that I said we should save. Whoops. Re-inject into Pirate101 because you restarted the game. Keep the current address list, yes. Go back to advanced options. Go to this line of code by double-clicking it. Right-click that line of code. Find out what addresses this instruction accesses. Click yes. And that is the Windjammer score, because remember we said it gets accessed in this line of code all the time. And just to prove it to you, you can select it and hit enter, and then just put it to like some crazy high value, like 10,000. And when you go back to game, it's showing the 10,000. Okay, so double click this address so it can be saved to our cheat table. So if I go down here and then scroll down here, that's our Windjammer score. Windjammer score. We'll go ahead and double click this address over here, and then it will show this pop-up. You want to copy the address field in this pop-up. Cancel. And we're going to go back to this screen. Click on pointer scanner, rescan memory, address to find should be selected. Everything else should be as it shows here. That's usually the default. Paste it and OK. Change it to something like Windjammer score_1. Make sure it's not the same name as the previous file. It should be a little different. That's why I put _1 sometimes. Click yes. It's just a little easier. Okay. So you see it's now 213 paths. You would normally keep restarting Pirate101 until you find one of these values that remains reliable. Meaning it will always show the Windjammer score. It doesn't show like some garbage value or some weird number. And in this case, I'm going to give you guys a hint. But this one right here is always the correct one. From my tests, at least. So you double click that, for example, go back to cheat engine, and it would be right there. And you see this P right here? That means it's a pointer to this address. So that means every time the game starts up, it's going to look at windjammer.dll, and then it's going to go that many bytes up, and then it's going to go 0 up, and then it will always find this address, which is our Windjammer score. So every time we start up the game, this will find our Windjammer score. That's it for today's video. If you want to learn how to keep this across multiple updates, that will be another video for another time, because that gets more into some other stuff. But if you're interested, I'll make it. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, give me a comment, tell me if you liked it. If you didn't like it, let me know also as well in the comments, so that I can improve and give you guys better content, especially related to Pirate101 or anything hacking related. Alright, peace out.